I screwed over my cheating husband. Throwaway account for some privacy. My main account has too much about my life and I don't want random people to know my main account and just get too invested on my life, lol. My ex-husband cheating on me with everyone. Literally everyone. It started with our neighbor, yeah, awkward as hell. He cheated on me with his co-worker. He cheated on me with women from social media. Women from bars and clubs. I only knew from checking his phone. He is a good liar. If I didn't check his phone I wouldn't have known any of this. I did confront him. He did apologize, but he said he's a man and he's wired to look at other women and it's in his nature to cheat. He wants me to be his wife because he loves me, but he needs more than one woman sexually. I always knew that his mindset was BS. But I needed my ex-husband, so I said okay, just don't throw it in my face. I don't want to see it, I don't want to know about it, and I don't want your girlfriends coming up to me. I don't want you to mess with anyone that I know, like friends and family. I know staying and planning an escape out is not what people on Reddit recommend. I never posted about my marriage ever until now because I know everyone here would just tell me to pack a suitcase and leave, but that's easier said than done. I'm not trying to be homeless or in a situation that would hurt me more. I'm thinking of shelter and being secure financially. I have kids. I had small children. I wasn't going to risk seeing them only half of the time. I don't have enough money of my own to make it myself, and child support isn't enough, especially back then when my ex-husband didn't make that much money. I would just have been screwed over if we had divorced right then and there, especially during that time we weren't even married that long and we were stuck in an apartment lease, so we didn't even have any property. And trust me, I did talk to an attorney and I would have to share custody with husband, which I couldn't do, and I would be screwed financially. I've never been a forgiving person. I'm a resentful woman. I will screw you over worse than you did me. It might be slower, but it will sting worse than what you did to me. I hate you and I hope you do see this post. You're always on this sub. That's how I knew about it. He would always read me people's confessions on here, and now you have one written about you. What a terrible man you are. I stayed with my ex-husband for 12 years. I left him when I was ready. During the marriage, my ex-husband paid for my schooling to be an esthetician. I went to college for a useless degree and it didn't help me at all in life, so I used my ex-husband to pay for esthetician training. I'm a medical esthetician now and I am financially stable without my ex-husband. During my marriage I did work. I wasn't a som, but I was never advancing in my job. During the marriage, he also paid off my medical debt and student loan debt. We also eventually had a house. We split it and sold it in the divorce. I'm so glad I waited to leave him. I also will eventually receive Social Security and a portion of his 401k. I was able to receive half of the Marshall funds, which is mostly his income. He does have to pay alimony due to our income disparity and length of marriage. It's not long-term alimony. My children are older now. My eldest moved out and I just have one more child about to graduate high school. I just turned 40 this year. It's been a year since my divorce was finalized. My friends and me, if they think I wasted my life, and I can honestly say no. They probably think I wasted my youth being married and having kids, but I will never regret my kids, and even if I had divorced him early on I would still have to struggle with being a single mom, which would have been harder. Instead I got up on my feet, I focused on my career. I had things to do. I was more motivated after he cheated on me. I still lived my life even though I was married to an idiot. I had my causal sex here and there too, he never knew about it. It would have crushed him and he would have filed for forgiven if he found out I cheated on him, but he was not smart and never checked my phone, and I took precautions. Anyways, I got more from waiting to divorce him when I was ready than what I would have gotten if I just left with no plan. I'm in a better position, mentally and financially. He also paid for my therapy. I would have been able to do that on my own. I started dating again after my divorce. I found love again. He knows I just got out of a marriage and it's getting serious between us, but I expressed I don't want to get married again and have a possibility of going through this entire thing again. This was a battle. Losing 100% access to your own children is scary, and I know they are adults now. But then going through this again now that I'm established, I can't lose what I recently gained. I hope my boyfriend can get over the fact that I don't have any interest of getting remarried again, but I'm happy with a long-term relationship with no cohabitation. Let me analyze this story for you. This story is a razor-sharp, emotionally raw, and deeply calculated testimony of a woman who refused to be destroyed by betrayal, choosing instead to weaponize her pain into long-term strategy, financial security, and eventual liberation. At its core, this is not just a story of infidelity, it's a chronicle of survival, transformation, and retribution. The narrator, a 40-year-old woman who spent over a decade married to a compulsively unfaithful man, lays bare the toxic foundation of her marriage, a husband who repeatedly cheated on her with neighbors, co-workers, strangers, and online women, justifying it all with the misogynistic belief that men are wired to cheat. Rather than romanticizing or pitying herself, the narrator speaks with biting clarity and unapologetic self-possession, showing us the power of cold patience and careful planning. What makes this story so compelling is that it flips the typical arc of a cheated-on spouse. Instead of leaving immediately, she does something far more controversial and, frankly, tactical. She stays. Not out of weakness, but out of necessity and foresight. She names what so many people gloss over: leaving isn't always safe or realistic, especially for mothers with young children, minimal personal income, and a housing lease that can trap them in place. Reddit is often full of righteous advice to just walk out, but she offers the painful reality that not every woman can do that and survive. In choosing to wait, she doesn't become passive, she becomes a chess master. She lets him fund her career transition, her debt payments, her therapy. She turns the marriage into a stepping stone, a launchpad for her autonomy. And when she does leave, it's on her terms, with a career in place, financial assets secured, children mostly grown, and her dignity intact. Her narration is laced with controlled fury. There is no plea for sympathy, no confusion about her husband's character. She calls him terrible, directly addresses him through the post, and even taunts him with the possibility of reading it. Yet beneath the rage is a chilling elegance. She did not retaliate impulsively. She endured years of humiliation, swallowed resentment, and instead of self-destructing, she built herself up quietly. The same traits her husband underestimated, her silence, her compliance, her seeming tolerance, became her weapons. By the time she left, she had turned his income, his assets, and even his own obliviousness into the foundation of her independence. Her confession about her own secret affairs adds another layer of complexity. She doesn't present herself as morally superior, only strategic. She knew her husband's ego couldn't tolerate the same betrayal he inflicted, so she moved in silence, cheating in return but ensuring he never found out. While this may challenge traditional moral frameworks, it underscores a raw truth: she reclaimed power in a system rigged against her. Where he used dishonesty to dominate, she used discretion to survive. Her retaliation wasn't designed to match his invisibility, it was about emotional symmetry. He would never know the extent to which he had been deceived by the very woman he believed he had dominion over. What's perhaps most powerful is how she reflects on her life with no regret. She doesn't mourn her youth or lament the marriage that consumed 12 years. Instead, she affirms that she used that time wisely. She raised her kids, she got educated, she built a business, and she got therapy, all funded by a man who thought he was exploiting her. That reversal of power is subtle but devastating. By the end of the story, she has not only escaped the marriage, she's risen above it. She has financial freedom, a fulfilling career, grown children, a new partner, and, most crucially, a hard-won sense of control over her life. The final lines are the embodiment of her transformation. She's in love again but firm in her boundaries: no marriage, no cohabitation, no risks to her newfound peace. She is done with systems that can turn stability into a battleground. Her trauma has taught her the price of dependence and the pain of legal entanglement, and she refuses to relive that. This decision, like every other one in the story, is made not from fear but from strength and clarity. In the end, this story is not about revenge as much as it is about reclamation. Reclamation of voice, security, respect, and most of all, self. It's about how some victories come not in loud explosions, but in the quiet closing of a door you never intend to walk through again. This woman was handed betrayal and used it as blueprints for freedom. Her story is not gentle, but it is fierce, deliberate, and unapologetically triumphant.